With YouTube growing increasingly strict about what videos it deems unsuitable for most advertisers, and your humble review monkey needing money to live, we here at the Thorias Unlimited channel have been forced to make a few changes to our content going forward. Please do not be concerned, as we are confident that this will not affect your enjoyment or negatively impact the biting razor-sharp commentary you have come to expect. We now return to this week's Batwoman review, already in progress. That scene was so... It made me want to... This episode was a... And Kate Kane can go straight to... The Batwoman writers are nothing but... Who wouldn't know a... If it kicked them right in the... They can all suck my... So f*** them and the they wrote in on. Those... Batwoman Episode 7, Tell Me the Truth. And... Oh, damn it. Ah. Man, they weren't wasting any time this week, were they? Okay, here we go. So this episode begins with a sniper/assassin targeting people in some restaurant. But Batwoman stops him from taking the shot and hangs him upside down by his feet. He then starts shooting at her, and she runs away. Even though the show has drilled into us multiple times now that the Batsuit is bulletproof. So bulletproof, in fact, that on 2 separate occasions it's been a big story point that some huge megacorporation has had to devote all the considerable resources at their disposal to inventing and building a high-tech specialized weapon for the sole purpose of penetrating the Batsuit because a normal gun just won't do it. So why the hell is Kate running away here? Because if she had actually captured this assassin like logic and good old-fashioned common sense tell us she should have, the episode would be over after about 2 minutes. So why not just write the damn scene differently? Have him narrowly escape her or something. Why have Kate running away from friggin' gunshots when the show has stressed to us over and over and over again that ordinary gunshots will do nothing against her? Stupid. Oh God, we're not even past the first scene and I'm already pissed off. That has got to be a record. So the crows arrive within seconds of the assassin's gun going off, and holy hell, with reaction time like that, it's a wonder Gotham has any crime at all. Sophie is back on the job, so she's totally fine after being shot in the stomach last week, and I'm not even a little bit surprised at this point. She confronts Batwoman in an alley, and she still thinks Kate is Batwoman, and says that if she doesn't reveal her identity to her father, Sophie will. Kate basically tells Sophie to trust her, and then immediately does something untrustworthy by running away the second Sophie's husband shows up. He asks her what just happened, but Sophie lies and says Batwoman didn't say anything. So in case you didn't get the hint, this episode is going to be all about Kate and Sophie's relationship. I am going to need some strong coffee. Cut to the Batcave, where Kate is shadowboxing, which is the closest thing to actual training we've seen her do in 7 episodes. Luke comes in and tells her that her dad is filing for divorce from Catherine because of that little making him think his daughter was dead thing. Not even gonna try couples counseling, huh? Okay. Kate isn't especially bothered by this because of what Catherine did, so finally, we have made some progress. Finally, the characters are addressing how everyone thought Beth was dead because Catherine faked the DNA evidence. Finally, there are some repercussions for this. But that's it? They're just getting divorced? So they're acknowledging that Catherine did something wrong that pissed Kate off, but they're ignoring the fact that it was also highly illegal. And then there was that business of Catherine also committing arson and attempted murder, which apparently is just being swept under the rug. So they're focusing on Kate being upset about Catherine's actions, but the extreme and shocking criminality and illegality of Catherine's actions is just being forgotten about. I hate this show so much, I swear to God. Also, while Kate was busy punching the air, Luke was busy doing all the detective stuff that she's supposed to be doing, and he discovered that several of the people in the restaurant the assassin was targeting work for Catherine's company. And then somehow the topic of conversation changes to Sophie, which triggers a very tepid, unsexy flashback of Kate and Sophie having sex, because this is the CW and shipping will always come first. Back at the Crow's headquarters, Sophie's husband just magically has video on his computer of Sophie talking to Batwoman, so he knows she lied to him. And naturally, this must mean that Sophie knows who Batwoman is. She denies this, but he's not really buying it. We check in with Catherine and Mary going to a meeting with the lawyer. Mary is really upset about the divorce, and if we know anything about Mary by now, it's that she's going to find some way to make this all about Kate. Sure enough, she's miserable because her and Kate were finally forming a real connection, but then this happened and now Kate hates her because of what Catherine did. If it were me, I'd be more upset about the attempted murder thing, but you do you, Mary. So once again, this show is demonstrating how it cannot keep continuity to save its damn life. Mary and Kate were forming a real connection? When the hell did that happen? I can't remember the last time they even shared a scene together. Not one where Kate wasn't disguised as Batwoman anyway. And in the meantime, the last few episodes have had not one, but several scenes of Mary being disappointed and upset, often to the point of tears, that Kate treats her like she doesn't exist. For Christ's sake, Mary's entire storyline in episode 5 was about her being drunk and depressed because she thought Kate would rather be with multiple murderer Alice than with her. But now, Mary and Kate have been forming this great, amazing, unbreakable sisterly bond, off-screen apparently, until Catherine came along and screwed it all up? Oh, kiss my ass! So they've already got continuity bent over the table, but before they can sodomize it until it walks with a limp, Catherine gets a phone call and learns that Dean Devereaux is dead. That's the guy who developed the weapon that can penetrate the batsuit that her company built because the plot demands it. I don't fucking know. So that night, Batwoman is staking out Catherine's company, watching this guy who they think the assassin was targeting, and sure enough, the assassin appears ready to kill him. And the man doesn't even notice the assassin, even though he's standing right there. The assassin is maybe 20 feet away, making no effort whatsoever to stay out of sight, got his sniper rifle propped up on the hood of a car, in full view of this guy. The man would have to be blind not to see this. Then again, Batwoman is just standing out in the open in the middle of the fucking parking lot, right in front of him, and the assassin doesn't see her, so maybe he's blind too. So Batwoman starts casually strolling towards the assassin. Even though he's about to murder an innocent man, she can't be bothered to hurry or anything because she's a strong, independent woman who does things on her own time, damn it. So instead, the man is saved because, 1, the assassin is really taking his sweet-ass time making this incredibly easy shot from very close range, and 2, a mysterious woman in a hood attacks the assassin and drives him off. Kate shoots a batarang at him or something and ties him up, and then, even though these two women are clearly after the same guy, they start fighting each other for seemingly no reason, giving the assassin time to free himself and escape a second time. Meanwhile, the man they're both trying to protect runs away and gets killed moments later. Okay, so at least the writers are changing it up a little bit in that this week the good guys are letting the villain escape because of stupidity and incompetence rather than because Kate is choosing to let them leave or she's just too lazy to stop them. But I'm honestly not sure which one is worse. So surprise, surprise, the woman in the hood knows Kate is Batwoman, because who the hell doesn't at this point, and she's revealed to be Julia Pennyworth. They were pretty light on the details, not shockingly, but Julia is Alfred's daughter. I think. She's a character from the comics. I'm not too familiar with her, but I heard there was some backlash from SJWs over the casting. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the original version of this character in the comics was white. But in the New 52, she was race-bent into a black woman, or a mixed race something or other. And the Outrage Warriors were up in arms over this because the producers had the audacity to cast a white woman to play Julia in the show. And as usual, they're revealing themselves to be a bunch of massive hypocrites because these are the same people who jump for joy every time a white character from the comics is race-bent into something else for a show or a movie or whatever. Well, I'm sorry to burst your bubble, you paint-sniffing clowns, but this is how equality works. If something goes one way, it has to go the other way too. If you were thrilled that Matt Reeves cast a black actress as the new Catwoman, then you've got no business being furious over Julia Pennyworth being white because it's the exact same goddamn thing. And can you really blame them for wanting to ignore the New 52 version of this character when the New 52 crashed and burned? Your double standard is showing, dumbasses, and it's not a good look. So while these two idiots are preoccupied with their dick measuring contest, the man the assassin was after, the man they were both trying to protect, runs into an alley and gets stabbed to death by Mouse. Then the assassin shows up, and he mentions that he has killed 2 other people on Alice's orders. Apparently the point of all this was killing off everyone who knew how to build that weapon Mouse and Alice stole from Catherine's company, the one that can penetrate the batsuit. And now that they're all dead, this weapon can never be recreated. Because as it turns out, this incredibly high-tech experimental weapon never had any plans or design specs or schematics, none of that crap. They kept all this extremely complicated, important information in their heads, never wrote it down, never stored it in a computer, never jotted down ideas on a cocktail napkin or anything. Because that's exactly how engineering works. So Alice did a favor for the assassin's boss, the Rifle. He's called the Rifle. Incredibly creative name, the Rifle. Now the batsuit penetrating gun is one of a kind, and so Alice wants what she's owed. But the Rifle says she gets nothing from his boss until they find out if this gun works. So because Julia already knows Kate's secret, Kate just lets her into the Batcave without so much as an explanation, because why the hell not? Secrecy is so last season. And Julia says that her agency assigned her to the Rifle. What agency is this? CIA? MI6? No explanation for that either. It's just an agency. So she's been tracking the Rifle for 8 months, and that's why she decided to get into a fight with Batwoman instead of capturing him when she had the chance. Of course. So these two have a little bit of history. Apparently after Kate got kicked out of military school for being gay, Bruce sent Julia to check up on Kate under the guise of being a Krav Maga teacher or something, and sparks ended up flying. So you're telling us that after the breakup with Sophie, that the show would have us believe broke Kate's heart so badly that she had to put an ocean between them, Kate hooked up with somebody else. There are a lot of reasons why this Kate-Sophie relationship does not work. This is just the latest one. But why they would reveal this in the same episode where they're trying to sell us on the idea that Kate and Sophie are not over each other and that they never stopped loving each other, I can't even imagine why they thought this was a good idea. Kate already slept around with that bartender girl, and now this? It's like the writers want Kate to still be in love with Sophie, but they also want her to hook up with every hot chick that guest stars on the show. Just pick one or the other, damn it, because at some point these things are going to cancel each other out whether you want them to or not. Spoiler alert, they already did! Then we get another flashback to military school after Kate and Sophie's relationship is discovered. Sophie wants to deny the whole thing so they don't get kicked out, but Kate wants to tell the truth. Seeing as this is like a week before they graduate, I don't know why Kate is so gung-ho about this. Why not just deny it for a week, graduate, and then come out? That way you don't throw away everything you've been working for here. But she's sticking to her guns and convinces Sophie that this is what they should do, and my god, these actresses have no chemistry at all. This is where we really need to feel the connection and the love they're supposed to have for each other, but there's absolutely nothing there. The scenes between them are so flat. God, it's like Barry and Iris all over again. So Sophie gets a text from Kate, ditches her husband, and meets her at the restaurant from that first scene. Kate asks Sophie if she can trust her, and they hold hands, but the owner's gay alarm goes off, and he gets up in their business saying that Kate's sneakers are against the dress code. But Kate notices some dude wearing sneakers, so obviously what he really has a problem with is the gayness. Women holding hands? Not in my restaurant, bitch! So Kate threatens to call her stepmom about this, which terrifies this guy, and once he's completely embarrassed and emasculated, he says they can stay, but she just storms off. Kate's in a foul mood now, and her and Sophie start arguing about their breakup again, which comes off slightly better this time because Ruby Rose's frowny face kind of applies in a situation like this. Then there's another flashback where Sophie is ready to tell the truth because there's no way the school would kick out their top 2 cadets for being gay a week before graduation, but then Jacob tells her that they absolutely will. He says that Kate is going to die on this hill and get herself kicked out, that's just who she is. But if Sophie wants a career in the military, she's going to have to pick her battles and swallow her pride on this one. It is, by a huge margin, the most rational, reasonable, intelligent thing that anyone says in this entire episode, and he's not wrong about any of it. So that's what made Sophie change her mind, because she thought it was the best decision financially, for her future, for her career, for her family. All that would have been ruined if she'd gotten kicked out. Because, as Kate is damn well aware, Sophie didn't come from a wealthy family and doesn't have the option of shooting herself in the foot and walking away like Kate does. Also, apparently her parents are intolerant assholes and wouldn't take too kindly to the whole I have sex with women thing. So she signed the letter of denial, and Kate has always resented her for this because Kate is a terrible, terrible person. So, if Sophie gets kicked out, she loses everything she worked for, it screws up her whole life, and Kate doesn't seem to give a rat's ass. As a straight person, I may not have the right perspective here, but I'm absolutely with Sophie on this, and not just because I can't stand Kate. Kate in this situation comes off as stubborn, irrational, and self-sabotaging to the point of idiocy. But, on the other hand, at least they're showing that she has flaws. So, good? On a side note, what kind of military school did they go to that would allow a cadet to wear as much makeup as Sophie does? That's just silly. Back in the present, Sophie finally tells her husband about her I like to have sex with women thing and her I used to have sex with Kate thing, and he asks her if that's still a thing, but she can't answer. So while Kate was occupied with her boring-ass shipping nonsense, Luke and Julia were actually being useful. They found the dead guy, and they're all heading down to the Batcave to discuss this further when Mary walks in and sees them, because when opening the super-secret entrance to the super-secret Batcave in Bruce's office, none of them thought to lock the damn door! Or even close the door! It's just left open. Just like that. So, literally, anyone could have just walked by the open doorway and seen them as they enter the Batcave. Is it written in the contract of every actor on an Arrowverse show that their characters must constantly be written like the biggest idiots on Earth? Jesus Christ. So Mary wants to talk about the parents' divorce, but Kate basically blows her off and kicks her out of there. And honestly, I do feel bad for Mary. I mean, she has this weird fixation on Kate that borders on unhealthy obsession, but she does seem like a nice person. The actress is good, and she hasn't done anything to make me want to not sympathize with her, but it seems like everyone's always trying to ditch her or push her out the door unless they need her for something. She deserves better than being on this crappy show. Back at Crow's headquarters, Catherine confronts Jacob. He doesn't really want to talk to her, but because they're getting divorced, not because of, her numerous crimes that she should be in prison for. But she's there because she thinks she knows who the rifle is targeting, and she tells him about the gun that can penetrate the batsuit that her company built, and he never bothers to ask about this, so I might as well. Why would she be building such a thing? It's implied that it was originally intended to be used on Batman, but Batman was well regarded as a hero until he disappeared, and now it's intended for Batwoman, but the whole city seemed to fall in love with Batwoman instantly. So that leaves us with Catherine, who built a weapon that can kill whoever's wearing the batsuit, but zero explanation about why the hell she made this damn thing in the first place except that the plot says so. If it was supposed to be a deterrent in case Batman ever went rogue and became a criminal, fine. Just tell us that. All I want is one freaking explanation. But time after time after time, the writers just refuse to do the simplest goddamn thing because competent storytelling is deader than Charlie's Angels' chances of having a successful weekend at the box office. It just baffles me how anyone continues to defend this damn show. For God's sake. So this gun apparently emits some kind of frequency or radiation or something that Catherine says they can track. Jacob thinks they don't have the technology to do that, but then Sophie walks in and says they actually do, because they can't go even one episode without making Jacob look like an idiot. Then Sophie tells Jacob that Kate is Batwoman. Cut to the rifle giving Alice a vial of some kind of liquid, and now Alice has what she wants. Apparently the rifle's boss is a she. Okay. Another flashback of Kate and Sophie breaking up. Sophie sees her commanding officer opening a display case and removing some medal Kate got for winning a sharpshooting competition, and she feels really guilty, so she stands up for Kate here, but the way she does it is hilarious. She says Kate deserved that medal because she was the best and outshot 200 other cadets without even trying, despite getting pissed drunk the night before and being so hungover during the competition that the fact someone even handed her a gun was insane. Her words, not mine. So in trying to defend Kate, Sophie made her look like an irresponsible fuck-up who somehow avoided disciplinary action for disorderly conduct who just happened to be a really good shot. I'm not sure what kind of case she thought she was making for Kate there, but I'm pretty sure it didn't work. Catherine talks to Jacob again. She tries to explain why she did what she did. He's not really having it, but she insists that they can fix this, that they can turn their pain into power. Yeah, whatever, lady. If you want to fix your marriage, fix it from prison. That's where you should be. And it's where you would be if this show actually gave a rat's ass about not insulting the audience's intelligence every single damn week. So Sophie is searching some apartment for something. I don't really know why she's there. Batwoman shows up. Sophie tries to tell her that if she could do it all over again, she wouldn't have denied anything. But then Kate shows up behind her. Why is Kate there in this random building? What's her excuse? Doesn't matter. She just avoids the question, and Sophie doesn't really care. So they're pulling a fake out here with Julia in the Batsuit, which means that poor Luke had to redesign the Batsuit yet again to fit Julia. Man, that guy really does not get enough credit. Then, from out of nowhere, Batwoman gets shot in the chest, blasted through a brick wall, falls about 4 stories, and crashes on the concrete ground. They weren't near any windows, so the only way the rifle could have possibly made that shot is if he was in the room with them. But we never see him. They don't even wonder where the shot came from, or how the hell the rifle even knew Batwoman was there. In fact, the Crows arrive instantly to arrest Batwoman, and they even say there's no sign of the shooter. Not that they actually looked for the shooter, mind you, they didn't. They just showed up where Batwoman landed, and they never try to figure out where the shot came from either. It's like they just don't care. Julia, of course, is alive, because magic. We find out later that Alice sabotaged the Batsuit penetrating gun to make it non-lethal, but I call bullshit. Even if it didn't penetrate the suit, the impact alone was still enough to blast her through a goddamn brick wall, causing her to fall about 50 feet and hit the concrete on her back. And yeah, the suit is supposed to be impact resistant or whatever, but Jesus Christ, how resistant is this thing? Even if by some batshit miracle Julia survived this, her spine would be shattered into a million pieces. And yes, we've established that this is a show where a woman can fall off a 7-story building and walk away without a scratch, but having done that first doesn't make this any less asinine. How many should-be fatal injuries are people going to survive cartoonishly easily on this show before it literally becomes a cartoon? So the Crows throw Batwoman in the van and they leave. Kate jumps on her motorcycle and she takes off after them. Then she catches up to the van, shoots the tires out, the van crashes, flips over in such a way that could have easily killed every single person inside. But Kate places no value on human life, remember, so this is very much in character for her. Then she hops off the bike, effortlessly beats the shit out of 4 crows, pulls Batwoman out of the van, apparently none of the crows even bothered to take her mask off, and they escape. This was terrible. Now we're adding potential manslaughter of law enforcement personnel to Kate's list of offenses? She didn't even check the van to make sure there was no one dead or injured inside. God, Kate is despicable. So the rifle knows Alice did something to the gun to make it non-lethal, and again I call bullshit because that damn well should have been lethal, and it only wasn't because the women of this show have plot armor thicker than Jon frickin' Snow's. But now the Batsuit penetrating gun can't penetrate the Batsuit, and all the people who could have fixed it are dead. The rifle ain't happy. Not that he does anything about it, because he's a man and Alice is a woman, and that means he can't take her on general principles. And he says that Alice didn't just play him, she played her, his boss. He started to say her name, but I couldn't make it out. It might be an alias. No indication of who this mystery woman is yet, but the only female character we've met so far that it could be is Catherine, so she'd be the most predictable one. We'll see how that plays out later. Back at the Batcave, wouldn't you know it, Julia's totally fine. She needs a bandage around her ribs, but aside from that, she's good to go. After being shot through a brick wall, falling 50 feet and hitting the concrete on her back. Yeah. Sure. Julia tells Kate that Sophie loves her, but Julia never met Sophie, so how the hell would she know that? She wouldn't. It's complete bullshit. Luke says that the knife in the dead man's chest was a butterfly knife, which Alice loves to use, so Kate connects the dots that Alice killed all the people who built the batsuit-penetrating gun and then tried to kill her with it. And now Julia's leaving town because her agency got a tip that the rifle is headed for the Mediterranean and is taking the batsuit-penetrating gun with him. How the hell could they possibly know this? Never explained. Should I even bother to ask questions like that at this point? But before Julia leaves, she tells Kate that not trusting people isn't a good thing. But since this episode was all about whether Kate could trust Sophie, and the crux of the story was Sophie revealing Kate's secret identity to Kate's dad, that means that Kate shouldn't trust Sophie. So what the hell is the through line here? I don't know. The writers don't know. Let's just wrap this up. So Kate's brand spanking new real estate firm has bought an empty building, with her dad's money I'm assuming, across the street from the anti-gay restaurant, and she plans to turn this building into a gay bar. Yeah, that'll show that straight, evil, intolerant, cis white male who's boss. You go, girl! She invites Mary to help out, and Mary's happy to do it, so all is forgiven. And Kate didn't even have to apologize for treating Mary like shit. How convenient. And now Mary is going to be in charge of design for this place, so she's going to be juggling that, and medical school, and her underground illegal medical clinic. When will she have time to sleep? Don't worry, I'm sure it won't come up. Sophie drops by, and she appreciates what Kate did, not even giving a shit that Kate nearly killed 4 of her co-workers. She says she told Jacob she was wrong about Kate being Batwoman. Kate says she isn't over Sophie, which is bullshit for all the reasons I stated before. And she thinks Sophie isn't over her either, which isn't fair to her, Sophie, or Sophie's husband. So Kate thinks it's best if she just keeps her distance from now on. Then Sophie gives Kate the sharpshooting medal that, I guess, she stole. Kate cries, and the editor wisely cuts to a wide shot so Ruby Rose doesn't have to sell that with her, acting. Sophie tells her husband that she doesn't have feelings for Kate anymore, but he clearly doesn't believe her. Jacob is out of the city investigating a lead, and then it's revealed that the Jacob we've been following in this episode was actually Mouse in a brand new ass mask disguise, meaning that Mouse was impersonating Jacob this whole time. And apparently the real Jacob never bothered to check in with headquarters at any point because he's just really bad at his job. So let me get this straight. Mouse could have done anything while posing as Jacob. He could have screwed up the Crow's computer system. He could have blown up the Crow's headquarters. He could have killed someone and framed Jacob for it. But instead, all he did was drink all their booze and talk to Catherine in a completely harmless way. Wow, it's almost as if there was no point to that subplot at all. Also, Alice still has that vial the rifle gave her. Apparently it's poison or something, and this is going to factor into her plans for Gotham somehow. Oh, who the hell cares? Okay, we're finally done. Thank God. Believe it or not, there were moments when I thought this was going to be Batwoman's least bad episode so far. And that's mainly because of Julia. Not because she was written particularly well, she wasn't, but because the actress was really good. I see why they cast her, because she had loads of charisma and gave that character a lot of personality that she wouldn't have had otherwise. Hell, she was so good, she almost managed to generate some chemistry with Kate. All on her own, of course. You still get nothing from Kate because Kate is a thicker brick wall than the one Julia got blasted through. But based only on the way Julia acted, I believe that her and Kate could have had a thing. And that's way more than I've ever gotten out of Kate and Sophie. They should absolutely bring Julia back just so we can get more of this actress. She was far and away the best thing about this episode. Granted, that's not saying much, because the rest of this episode was a steaming pile of Yeah, I'll give you not suitable for most advertisers, YouTube. I'm just about at my breaking point here. And not just with this women are indestructible and can effortlessly shrug off things that would kill any mortal human being garbage. The stupidity is off the goddamn charts. Kate is still letting villains escape when she could easily capture them. She nearly murdered 4 crows here, and I doubt that'll ever even be mentioned again. Catherine is still walking around free when she should be in prison. The writers were virtue signaling like a There were plot holes all over the place, and the first episode to really focus on Kate and Sophie's relationship accomplished nothing but shining a giant spotlight on just how little chemistry they have, because Kate's most interesting interactions by a country mile this week were the ones she had with Julia. Take Julia out of the equation, and there was nothing redeemable about this episode whatsoever. Damn it, this show is horrible. And it's only getting worse. I can't believe this trash got picked up for a full season. I guess the network thinks the big annual crossover event is going to bolster those ratings. And it will. For 1 week anyway. But if there's a God, afterward that viewership will go right back down to where it was before. Or, if we're very, very lucky, even lower. Guys, let me know what you thought of this review down in the comments section. Ding that bell icon and follow me on Twitter using the link in the description so you'll always be notified about new videos. And don't forget to like, share, and for God's sake, subscribe. I'm so close right now. I'm so close to hitting my goal of 25,000 subscribers by the end of the year. I just need one more little push to get over that last hump. So please help me out. I'd very much appreciate it. In the meantime, this Batwoman review is done, but if you enjoyed it, check out the playlist on the channel and watch the other ones. Stick around and I'll be back with more very soon. Over. Out.